Skip, this is one of the most impressive performances, and I go back to watching basketball a long time. This is one of the greatest playoff performances, shooting the basketball, as you'll ever see. Skip, and I know Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, but if you tell me, well, Shannon, somebody else is taking Steph Curry, you got Dame Lillard. Okay, I'm not crying. I'm not disappointed. Because this kid can flat out shoot the basketball, Skip. And I'm not talking about no little corner threes. Skip, did you see where he was pulling up from? To tie the game, to get it to overtime, to send it to double overtime? He's pulling up from 30. That's a shot, Skip. That's a mid-range shot. That's a DeMar DeRozan, a Booker mid-range shot, the way he's shooting this. Dude is 12 of 17. If he'd have got anything, Skip, he drops 9 in the third, another 11 in the fourth, 17 in double overtime. If he'd have had any teammate, give him anything, he scored 17 of the 19 points in double overtime. Mm-hmm. Skip, if CJ gives him anything, if Melo, if anybody, if a character, Nurkic fouled out, hell, damn near fouled out half the squad. If they'd have gave him anything, they win this ball game. I've never seen anything like it. Skip, if I'm not mistaken, Denver was up like 8 or 9 in the first overtime. I was like, that's a wrap. And Dame said, no, hell it's not.
That is
boom,
true.
boom, boom. Skip, 12 of 17 from
for that matter, Denver was up 22 in the second quarter.
I think that's what saved Denver. They got up to that big lead, and Dame couldn't get his normal rest because he had to keep them in the game. And he got hot in the second, and he had to play more minutes.
Maybe.
He wore down at the end, but he still made great passes. Covington missed a dunk. A couple of guys missed some easy baskets. But this is a greater performance. It's the 5th most points in playoff history, the 3rd most in a loss. MJ 63. Donovan Mitchell just dropped 57 against this same Nuggets team last year.
He did.
And here come Dame, comes back with 55. Skip, this is unbelievable. His teammates scored 2 points on 1 of 14 shooting in the 2 overtime, Skip. If he gets anything, they win this game comfortably. If he gets anything, they win this game and double it. First of all, I'm not so sure it even goes to a second overtime. But Skip, Dame Lillard, I've seen enough. The guy's is clutch. He's Skip, they should call him Yoko Ono because he broke up OKC like she did the Beatles. That's what got Paul George up out of there. You remember he put that step back jump in Paul George eye, and Paul George came right out. That's a bad shot. No, it's not. I've seen him hit it.
I'm sorry, I have to stop you. You cannot compare breaking up the Beatles to breaking up the Oklahoma City Thunder of Russell Westbrook and Paul George. You cannot do it. That is blasphemy. I call you on that.
Okay.
I get the analogy, but it's just over the top wrong. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles is his favorite group. So, he take a little personal when you talk about
they're everybody's favorite group. Yes, they are. Trust me.
Yeah, when you talk about the dude scored 30 of the last, he scored assisted 37 of the 42 points they scored the last.
He did. That's extraordinary.
Skip, I don't know what this
basically unheard of.
I don't know what else to say, Skip. He's clutch. He's big time clutch. And like I said, Skip, he what you gonna say? 6 foot, 6'1" maybe?
No, I think he's bigger than. I think he's a good 6'2".
You think he's a good 6'2"?
I do. And stout, strong, and can rise.
The guy that can shoot the ball, Skip, we're going to talk about him a little later, where he ranks on it in clutchness and his place.
We are going to do that.
Man, what I saw last night, Skip, I don't know if you'll see, maybe Steph Curry is the only guy in the history that can shoot the ball like this kid.
Okay. He's not a kid anymore.
No.
I got it. To you, he is.
Yeah.
I got it. To the Beatles, he's a kid, right? Okay. I think I'm ready to call it the greatest distance shooting clutch performance I've ever seen in a playoff game.
Yes.
Now, it's a first-round playoff game.
Right.
He has not played in a finals, played in one conference finals.
Right.
So I can't go to all-time
right.
because it's not on the biggest stage in the biggest moments. But Reggie Miller had some huge games. He just didn't shoot it as far out as Dame does.
Right.
Reggie would shoot threes, but he shot a lot of twos.
Right.
And he was a deadly shooter. And you remember what he did at the Garden to Spike Lee's Knicks.
And the thing it was, Skip, with him, with the difference between Dame and Reggie is that you could run Reggie off the three-point line. You can't run Dame because he'll side. You run at him, he'll step to the side. He'll step to the side and still.
And he has so much range because he can actually rise and hold it. And he's strong enough to still get it there at the apex of his leap, which Reggie couldn't do.
No.
Reggie wasn't the he wasn't as athletic as Damian is. And Reggie Reggie needed the picks. He needed to run through 17 picks before he could get over.
Dame, you saw last night in the overtime and double overtime, Dame said, get the hell out of here. I don't want to see. Get back. You're crowding me.
Okay. So at the end of regulation, there was a play in which Austin Rivers fouled Dame. And it wasn't, they called it a 3-shot foul. And so he was going to have to go to the line to make 3 to tie.
Right.
Could he have made all 3? Probably he could have.
I trusted, yeah.
As it turned out, you would have been better off not challenging and let him go shoot the 3 because he then the 3 free throws, I mean, because he comes right back because they do side out of bounds. They amended it to, he got him with the body before he was in the shooting.
But that ain't what y'all call. Y'all call it the shooting.
They did. So they said, well, we'll kind of meet you halfway on this. We'll compromise. Yeah. We'll just do side out of bounds.
Right.
And here he comes again. So now we get this shot. And now we get Michael Porter Jr. And I'm saying, first of all, you have to go foul him. And I don't know what Mike Malone is thinking because you have 2 instances at the end of regulation and overtime. Just go foul him because you send him to the free throw line.
Skip, I think
it's a 2-shot
Skip,
foul.
I think the thing is you're scared because the moment he sees you about to grab him, he's going to launch it. And I think I heard Mike Malone says, if he has his back to us, I tell him to go wrap him up. Or if he's below the 3-point line, we can get him. But Skip, when he's facing you up, you better not.
It just depends how hard you want to attack him. And if you can do it with savvy and shrewd operator, where you can jump on him as the ball touches his hands. If you just, you basically tackle him before he can even turn to you.
Or blitz him, Skip.
Yeah.
Anybody else. CJ, you're going to make that.
You can do
Powell,
that.
you're going to make that shot. Carmelo, you're going to make that shot. Dame Lillard, I'm sorry. You're not getting that shot.
So on that one, at the end of regulation, Michael Porter is actually playing him to drive. Like he's backed off him. Like, I'm on skates.
No.
Come on. What's Michael Porter? Is he 6'10"?
6'10".
I think he's
easy
6'10".
6'10".
Just go try to smother him. Just get up and try to overwhelm him with your length. Try to make it impossible for him to even get the shot off because doesn't he have to shoot a 3?
Yeah, and Skip, the mistake that they're making is that they need to play him on his right hand because if you watch him, he's taking that hop and he's going to get to his right hand. So you might need to play him on his right hand and make him go away from his dominant hand. Okay. But everybody keeps playing him to his left.
Okay. So Michael Porter makes a nice leap after it's a little too late, but he got a hand up on it. And Dave made a great shot. And it looked like he shot it with conviction, like he knew it was in when it left his hand.
Didn't even see him.
No, he didn't see him. And that's the only way you're going to make that shot is you cannot see that.
He's looking at the basket. He's like, I don't even see you, bro.
So now we get to the end of the first overtime.
Right.
And here we go again. And again, I'm going to try to foul. I know it's a little dicey and dangerous, but I'm still... The rules are going to allow me to stop you from doing that. Or to your point, maybe I'm going to blitz him. Maybe I'm going to say, you can't do that to me again.
Yes, that's what I would do.
But here's what happened if we could see the second one, because as he goes up, I think it's Monty Morris. And the point was, he gets fouled.
He got fouled on this one.
That's a foul. He slapped his hand, and look at Dame. He's doing, okay, that was a foul. He got slapped.
He did.
He got slapped. So the truth was, the only reason that this performance got marred was by the bottom line. They lost.
Yes.
So you can't say, Dame, if he'd won the game with that shot and an one off a 3,
he should have.
How special would that have been?
Well,
would that not cap it off?
I'm going to have to stop you on this one because you keep telling me the number one Jordan. We praise that. That's a Pantheon game. Jordan lost. He did lose that 63-point performance. He lost in overtime.
Okay, but remember, he broke his foot.
No.
He came back for the last 3 or 4 games and said, I'm going to play.
Yeah, but
I'm going to play game 1 against the Boston Celtics. We're the 8th seed, and they were terrible. They were a sub-500 team going to Boston Garden against one of the all-time, I'd say it's a top 5 all-time.
That was the second game. I think that was the second game.
Well, what was it, 63? I thought it was the first game.
I think it was the second.
Whatever.
Didn't he drop like 40? He dropped like 40 in the first one.
I thought 63 was the very first one.
I think it was the second
Well,
one. You might be right.
Well, all Larry Bird said was that was God disguised as Michael Jordan. So
my point, Skip, is sometimes, look, we can't say Dame lost, and then so we're going to take something away from it while holding Michael's game as a holy grail game. Because we did that with Book. book score 70 to say we lost. But there have been other great historic performances in which players have lost that we still revere. Okay, that's
but I just called it the greatest distance clutch shooting performance I've ever seen. Distance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But Skip, I mean, he got nothing. I mean, CJ was the only starter that had a minus rating. And if he didn't get, look, like I said, Skip, I mean, CJ struggled. And then he passed it to him and he stepped. CJ was way out of bounds with that one, Skip. That wasn't even close.
Okay. So at the end, it gets marred by the fact that, as you pointed out, first Covington, if we'd see this, he just misses a flat-out dunk. I don't know if the stage is too big.
Maybe his legs are blowed.
Maybe. I mean, but I know Yoke got in his way a little bit. But you just got to close that deal. And then CJ just steps back and steps out of bounds. And you're going to set up a three to tie again.
Sean Wright, that's your call, too.
Yeah.
That the official in the back, Sean Wright, I know him.
But he got it. He got it right.
That was the front official to make the call.
All right. But those two plays at the end of the game, it mars this effort, right?
And Skip, they let Dame down. Covington and CJ let Dame down.
Yeah.
Because what could have been, especially Covington, Skip, you can't blow it. I get it. You know, guys are close to the sideline. We see guys step. Now, they don't normally step that far to bounds like CJ did. Mm-hmm. Normally, they step on the line or something like that. But he was way out of bounds.
It wasn't even close.
Wasn't even close. But Covington, I still don't know how Covington missed that shot. I still don't know how he missed it.
I don't know. So, again, I'm trying to frame it by we're still – it's a big game. It's Game 5 of the first round. Right. But is it a greater clutch performance overall than Jordan's Game 6 at Utah in 1998?
No. Stakes are not nearly as high. Okay. But, Skip, here's the thing. We don't normally see guys, very few guys can go get you 50 and dole out 10 assists. Yep. Not only was he scoring, but he was playmaking for other guys. Yep. That's the first time in playoff history a guy that's gotten 50-10 with 10 made threes.
Yep.
There are very few guys that can do that.
No.
I don't know how many times Steph has ever had a 50-point game with 10 assists.
Yep.
Now, we know he's had 50-point games with 10 threes. Yep. Hell, he just had 7 games this year with 10 made threes.
He did. So, in the end, I wish they'd called the foul on the slapped hand because then if he goes to the free throw line and makes the one to win the game, we're having an even different conversation.
You know why, Skip? Because they missed it, because they gave a bull jive call on the other one. Austin Rivers didn't even come close to touching Dame.
No,
didn't even come close to it. And they called that one, but they missed the obvious one.
They wiggled out of it.
They did. Yep. That's why they gave him the side out, because you're like,
I agree.
You didn't call that. You called him on the shooting foul. You didn't say nothing about no side out. But, Skip, this was unbelievable. I mean, I don't know if you'll see a better performance this year in the playoff than what you saw with this, especially from shooting the basketball. Now, Kevin Durant has been efficient, the 42 on what he had, like 17, 18 shots.
Yep.
But to shoot the ball from distance, like I said, this guy is shooting corner threes. He's shooting from 30 feet out and making it look like a mid-range.
It's not often that I congratulate a player in a loss, but I congratulate him for that loss.
I think we finally arrived. Damian Lillard, superstar.
Really? Finally arrived?
No, you. I've been there.
Huh?
I've been there.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that later. That's a whole nother conversation.
There you go. See,
I'm ready to go there.
Oh my goodness.
Let's do it.
You're ready to go there? Well, I appreciate you saying that about Dame, Skip. I think that he as well will appreciate that statement from you.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.